winter cycling was just about wearing more layers, turns out that's not even close. These are just a few things I found out when riding out in the cold. Not advice, just experience. So we'll kick off with winter tights. I keep calling them bib shorts for some reason, but for me it always feels like a bit of a gamble when it comes to like winter clothing because it's not something you're going to test out indoors. And especially on a longer ride, you have no idea if it's going to be comfortable or not. So it's always felt like a bit of a gamble at times with the winter tights. But I have found a pair from Decathlon. Again, shout out to Van Rysel. It's a real shame they haven't sponsored me because it feels like all my kit is Van Rysel and I absolutely love it. I found these winter tights absolutely solid. I've used them down in like sort of like -1. I've also done a couple 100-mile rides with them and I can report back really comfortable. So if you're looking for a pair, I suggest the Van Rysel ones. And talking of Van Rysel, I picked up these gloves and these have been absolutely amazing in winter. When I've usually gone out riding with like winter gloves, I've either found them really thick that you can't feel like the buttons on your shifters, or they still somehow make your hands still feel cold. But these are absolutely solid. I love the little reflective strip on there. They are so warm and comfortable. I've even found myself wearing them, like not for cycling. I know they say cycling gloves, but hey, who's gonna stop me? The only slight issue I found with these is they have these, I guess you call them like capacitive patches on it, so you could use touchscreens. I found the fingers don't work, but the thumb does. So proper gorilla mode here. You can use your thumb and still swipe around on a Garmin head unit. Again, really like these gloves. They're really, really neat. Now, my biggest enemy I seem to find riding out in winter is cold feet. And I have not found anything to really help with this. I've tried the tinfoil hack, and maybe it's just me. I seem to find my shoes afterwards have like these metal flakes in there. I've tried these shoe warmers as well, and this was a really mixed bag because I found that they use airflow to heat up. So like inside the house, you stick them to the bottom of your sock and it's just starting to warm up. They take about 10 or 15 minutes to reach like peak temperature from what I understand. But because I use the Rafa Pro Team shoes, they don't have any air inlets into it. It's a bit weird. I'm not quite sure how they work without the ventilation. They seem okay, but I know other shoes have like ventilation holes, but then you put on overshoes to stop all the dirt and grime going into it. So these last for about, I'd say, an hour of warmth on a ride, and then it stops and you go back to having cold feet. But as soon as you go back indoors and take your shoes off, they start heating up again. So it's kind of nice. So I'd be interested to know if people have had some good success with these, because I've tried different overshoes. I picked up recently the Van Rysel ones. They're like these 2mm thick neoprene ones. And again, they're slightly warmer, but I still have cold feet. So if you've cracked cold feet, please let me know. I am all ears. It's the one nemesis I have to riding out in the cold. Another great little thing I found recently is these caffeine pouches. And I assure you there's no nicotine in here and I'm not sponsored by this brand. So these are just little pouches you put up in your lip. Just one seems to do the trick. And I found for cold weather riding that it can be quite mentally taxing because you're thinking about like the cold feet and stuff like that, and it's just for cold. It just seems to zap me mentally. And so I found as well, especially around Christmas time, the traffic was like crazy. I normally cycle around these really quiet country lanes, and sometimes on a ride I won't see another person for like 2 hours. And on some of the rides, it was literally, and no word of an exaggeration, I was coming down one road and there were 7 cars coming towards me, and I just found I couldn't switch off. Like, I had to be like on the bars, locked in, constantly scanning the roads. And so that was kind of adding to the mental fatigue as well. And one weird side effect I had with the caffeine, and this is a really positive one, is it started to warm me up a bit, which was nice. I felt slightly warmer, and I'm not sure if that was just like a side effect or if I was having a bit of a Popeye moment that this really helped. But maybe something to try out on your next ride. I'm definitely using these, and I found I'm not normally somebody who likes to use caffeine on a ride unless it's like a really long one and I know there's descents coming up. But yeah, definitely for the winter riding, I found this to be a really nice little sort of hack. So definitely sort of halfway or 75% into that ride, these came in really handy. Another thing for me, and I really screwed up on this one, was fueling. So it's kind of ironic in cold weather, your appetite and thirst drop, but you're burning more calories to stay nice and warm. So you've kind of got to eat and drink more to compensate for that. And it's quite funny, I actually had a flapjack with me that froze completely solid on the ride, so that kind of foiled my plans a bit. So moving forward, I'm just going to use carb mix. I've tried gels, but the problem I have is, especially on a long ride, you stuff your back pocket up and they are a nightmare to try and get out. And especially with like thick gloves like this, it's sort of like good luck just pulling out one gel. So I just thought I'm going to take some bottles, I'm going to fill them up with sugar water, and that is just going to be my nutrition going forward, especially on cold weather rides, because it'll be easy to grab, easy to digest, and yeah, just going to be 10x easier. So yeah, definitely going to be using sugar water going forward. To me, it just seems like the best hack all around. At least in my brain, I'm kind of seeing it as like I'm eating and drinking at the same time, so I'm getting some fuel and some water, which is really going to help. And the last thing I found that worked really well, and has been kind of surprising, is neck garters or like little headscarves and winter hats for cycling. I saw a stat somewhere that said 30% of your body heat is lost through your head. And so I thought, I'm going to wear this little hat, see how it worked. Absolutely amazing. And this neck warmer, again, shout out to Van Rysel here. I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera, but it has a thinned out patch here. And that is to go around your nose, so it makes it easier to breathe in and out instead of trying to breathe through all this like really thick stuff here. And it just works really well. For me at least, I find keeping my neck and my head warm seems to help a lot. So that's one thing. So yeah, it's just something I found that works really well for me. So with that, if you've got any winter cycling hacks or tips, please let me know. I will genuinely go out and try it. And like I said before, if you know how to get around cold feet when riding, please let me know. I am all ears. I will definitely go out and try it out. So please let me know your winter hacks in the comments below. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.